The press office of Gavin Newsom is still trolling the hell out of Donald Trump and MAGA, but I'm bracing you for this. If you're drinking anything, please push it to the side. If you're eating anything, please swallow it completely. We don't want to get anything stuck in your throat. All right, y'all. All right. So this is what the press office said. I'm covering this picture on purpose. I'm about to share it with you. It says, "Happy birthday, Stephen. Sorry we missed your big day yesterday." Let's look at this picture together. This is the picture of Stephen Miller that they decided to use, and I am deceased. Please take this picture and use it for something. Bill DeMaio gave his birthday wishes. He says, "Happy birthday, Pee Wee German." And we got chubby JD Vance that's giving a cake, and the cake has a couch on it. These people are hilarious. Now we have this from the press office. It says, "Thank you, glorious leader. Please look at the screen," because we are now praising dictators and authoritarians. That's what we are doing right now. And why did the press office post that? Look at what the U.S. Department of Labor posted. Look at these banners that Donald Trump's administration put up. Look at this banner of a big Donald Trump's face. And this is supposedly for the 163rd birthday of the USDA. Why is this a milestone? That should not be a milestone where they are spending $16,000 on a big old banner of Donald Trump's face as if we are really supposed to be celebrating dear leader. I've already talked about how the tariffs are tearing up John Deere, the tractor company. Well, the press office says, "We hate to say it, but Mike Pence is right. P.S. Don't expect this to happen often." So the press office is propping up what Pence is saying. And what we know about MAGA, they are really watching what Newsom is saying. So you know that they are seeing what Mike Pence is saying, and that Mike Pence is someone that they really cannot stand because he didn't invalidate the 2020 election results. This is the full tweet from Mike Pence. "John Deere is laying off 238 workers at 3 factories in Iowa. The company said tariffs and lower commodity prices are to blame. Tariff costs in the quarter were approximately $200 million, which brings us to roughly $300 million in tariff expense to date," said Director of Investor Relations Josh Beal. "American companies and American consumers pay the cost of American tariffs. Time to get back to free trade with free nations." So that's what Mike Pence said. The very first comment under the press office's post says, "Mike Pence is a traitor." They really believe that the vice president had the authority to invalidate the 2020 election. That's the reason why they wanted him to be, they wanted his head subtracted from his body. At the bottom, David Bowie's ghost says, "Why? I don't like what he said, so he must be a traitor." So we know that Donald Trump is serious about his social media and his numbers and polling and everything. So the press office put this out. It says, "Votes are in. Patriots have better weekends than MAGA." And then they share that Gavin Newsom got 42,000 hearts on a post, whereas Donald Trump got 19,000 hearts on a post. So they are really out here being petty and measuring social media hearts. And then they put this one out. "Many say this is the fastest growing group of patriots of all time. Thank you for your belief in truth and a better America, GCN." And so Jack made this post saying the press office just hit 500,000 followers on Twitter, and many people are saying the White House walls are covered in ketchup. Yes, that's where we are right now, because Donald Trump, I am totally sure, hates being mocked. So I hope that this is getting his pressure up. I really do hope that is happening. When I first saw this post, I'm like, this sentence structure is so raggedy. What is this in regards to? Because it leads out with, "Except what is written and broadcast in the fake news, I now have the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Some in the 60s and even 70s. Thank you. Make America Gavin again. GCN." Okay, what is this in regards to? That was around 7:30 p.m. yesterday. 6:46 p.m. yesterday, Donald Trump posted this on Live Social. He says, "Except what is written and broadcast in the fake news, I now have the highest poll numbers I've ever had, some in the 60s and 70s. Thank you. Make America great again. Okay, so word for word, they just took Donald Trump's post, but they did make it capitalized. He is picking and choosing what he wants to capitalize. He's not making it all cap locks for some strange reason. The way he comes for news stations, this is fascism. He's trying to shape the propaganda. He's trying to shape the information that comes out. That's why he said yesterday evening, why is it that ABC and NBC fake news, two of the absolute worst and most biased networks anywhere in the world, aren't paying millions of dollars a year in license fees? They should lose their licenses for their unfair coverage of Republicans and or conservatives. But at a minimum, they should pay a big for having the privilege of using the most valuable airwaves anywhere at any time. Crooked journalism should not be rewarded. It should be terminated. He wants to shape the news, just like he wants the Smithsonian to speak nicely about slavery. He's still going on and on and on about ABC and NBC. He says, despite a very high popularity and, according to many, among the greatest 8 months in presidential history, ABC and NBC fake news, two of the worst and most biased networks in history, give me a 97% bad stories. If that is the case, they are simply an arm of the Democrat Party and should, according to many, have their license revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that because they are so biased and untruthful and an actual threat to our democracy. MAGA. He loves insulting people. This is the reason why I come for him, because he comes for other people and people should continue to mock him because he is insulting to everybody he doesn't like. This is what he says yesterday as well. I just watched sloppy Chris Christie be interviewed on a ratings challenge news show this week with George Slopadopoulos on ABC Fake News. By the way, what the hell happened to Jonathan Karl's hair? He looks absolutely terrible. It's amazing what bad ratings on a failed television show that was forced to pay me $16 million can do to one's appearance. Oh my goodness, this is the reason why the press office is typing the way that they are. This is how he types for real. Can anyone believe anything that Sloppy Chris says? Do you remember the way he lied about the dangerous and deadly closure of the George Washington Bridge in order to stay out of prison? To stay out of prison, isn't that what Donald Trump should be in prison? Okay, in order to stay out of prison, at the same time sacrificing people who worked for him, including a young mother who spent years trying to fight off the vicious charges against her. Chris refused to take responsibility for these criminal acts, says a felon. Donald Trump is a felon. For the sake of justice, perhaps we should start looking at the very serious situation again. No one is above the law. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Somebody is surely above the law. It would be President DJT. I wonder how much longer this dude is going to be here and be able to tweet, because he is falling apart at the seams. This is his hand without makeup. And this is what he looks like. This does not look like a healthy man. Yet this is what MAGA pushes forward as an alpha. He looks like he is falling apart. His posture, the way his skin is sagging, the way he talks, all of the bruising. This dude is jacked up from the inside out. This headline and many other people are talking about the bruising on Donald Trump. So this is from Independent. It says Trump reveals dark bruising on hand as he goes cover up free in Oval Office amid health concerns. So someone asked the question, what's going on with Trump's hands? And Pablo answers, bruises on the backs of hands is usually because that's where a cannula has been inserted, which means that Trump has been having an IV. As someone who's worked in a hospital, that's almost certainly a cannula bruise. You can see similar in the last picture of Queen Elizabeth, the last picture. We know that Trump has a condition called chronic venous insufficiency, which basically means his veins struggle to get the blood around his body and back to his heart, which sometimes results in blood pooling in the lower extremities or cankles. I do want to remind us all that Gavin Newsom and former President Barack Obama have wonderful ankles. All right, last sentence. This isn't common in old and overweight people. This isn't uncommon in old and overweight people. The person at the bottom says he would absolutely hate that last sentence. So, cankles isn't uncommon in old and overweight people. I just had to repeat that one more time. All right, y'all. Go ahead and share this far and wide. Thank you for your attention to this.